Hi, beautiful people. Good to have you back on my channel. So, today we are going to be learning how to make this beautiful drape skirt without using any form of pattern. No slash and spread, no pattern at all. We are drafting directly on our fabric. Yeah. So, this skirt, if you notice, it doesn't have any side seam, no annoying lines showing anywhere. We just have the back zip allowance, so it's very simple, very practical, very beginner friendly and you can adjust it any way you want it. So if this looks like what you want to learn, just sit back and let's enjoy the class. Please do not forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and to drop your comments in the comment section. I'm so excited. This is so simple, guys. Very, very simple, and it's so elegant. You can rock it with anything you want. So if this is what you want to learn, let's get into the class. So here my fabric is folded just into two, and I use my hip measurement, which is the largest circumference. I divided it by two, just two. To that I added 1 inch zipper allowance and about 0.5 inch of ease. So that is how you are going to be getting your fold. Now the one on fold is my F, while the other side is the back. Where I'm pointing right now is my zipper allowance, and you take it down. Mark your starting line, which is for me is there, and let's move on. This fold into two, and that's the line you are seeing here. Now this is my starting line, and from here to here, this is my hip line, my waist to my hip line. Mine is 9 inches. Now remember, this is not going to be having any side seam beyond the hip line downwards. So all you have to do is to take quarter of your waist measurement from where I marked F, which is on fold, and where I marked B, which is my back, has my zipper allowance. So I'll start from the zipper allowance to mark quarter of my waist. Now remember, to these measurements add your sewing allowances. I'll mark it here. Okay, so I'll be adding, say, 1 inch of sewing allowance to hold it down together. On the center back again, I will also mark the same thing. Remember, this is quarter of my waist. This is quarter of my waist, which is 10.25, which is here, 10.25, which is here. So I'm going to be adding 1 inch. So what I will do is to connect from maybe just a little bit above my waist and my hip line to this place. Remember, we are trying to make the waist to have grip, to be fitted on the waist. Now to my full length, I'm adding about extra 10 inches to my 42 inches already. So add some extra inches to that on the center front. On the center front. Now that is me curving it back to meet my original full length at the back. So it's the front is going to be longer than the back. So I'm taking my time to have a good curve. So a longer center front is going to make your drapes to come out very beautifully without looking awkward at the lengthwise. So I urge you to make your center front to be longer than the back. Now take your time to have a smooth curve. Take your time to have a smooth curve, please. Now notice that the side seams will just be stopping just above my hip line. Now when you watch where I am cutting, you are going to notice that we are going to be having a sharp V as a cutout from that side seams. Now this is a skirt, and for my center front I'm going to be coming down by half an inch, just like we do for our normal skirts. So from there I'm going to be cutting out. Now watch carefully and see where I am cutting. I won't be cutting beyond the hip line. Just look at that. Then go ahead. Remember to notch both your center front, your zipper allowance, and then you cut the down part. Now I'll go ahead and fold my fabric for my facing. Yeah, this is going to be having a facing, not band, a facing. Back and forth. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to be tracing exactly what I have. So this is what we have. So I'll take the length of my facing. So I will label just in case I don't get confused. But the one on the folded edge is the front, while this is the back. So I will label this back. And not to be confused, I already have my notch though, which will show me that this side will be my zipper allowance. Back. So to my facing, I'm going to be adding a hasty to make it stable because my material is very soft and very flowy. So let's get started. Here I've already interfaced and I'm going to be pinning separately the facing and the material separately, so their shaping will be done separately. Now place accordingly. Remember your notches and take your measurement. For this is just going to be the waist measurement. Please make sure that your waist measurement is very fitted, that it has grip on you. Now fold it and take quarter of your waist measurement and shape accordingly. So this is my 10.25. Okay, to be sure that your drapes look beautiful, I suggest you use very soft fabric. It doesn't necessarily have to be transparent, but flowy and soft. Now close your zipper allowance, hem the down part, and take your waist measurement. Now, have you liked this video? Have you shared this video? Come on, please. Just like, comment and share, okay, so that other people gets to see more of this. Now this is me taking quarter of my waist measurement of my main fabric. You are going to take your time and do this just like this. So this is my waist. So this is it. So I'll make sure that I have my hip measurement intact, which is 11.625. That was my half inch. So what I'll do is to take it from here. I'll take it all the way, just like the normal way you draw your hip. Okay, so I necessarily will not be getting to my hip. So I'll be repeating exactly what I did before on the other side. So when I finished making my stitch, I noticed that it was too tight on me, so it will not be so free for me to start doing my drapes. So I had to loosen my stitch and make my stitches on a different line. I'll still show you about that later. So my suggestion is, if you're going to make this, add at least 1 inch ease on your hip while you are folding yours, so your waist is firm, but as your hip should be free enough so that when you drape, your drapes will have room enough to really drape the way it should. I may not be able to easily make my drapes, so this is supposed to be like an A-line, but because I didn't want to have a joining stitch here, that was why I used this method. So what I did was losing my previous stitch, and it's still my waist measurement, but I brought out my hand just a little more, just to make it to have more room. This is it too. I left my initial line and just brought out my hand, brought out my stitch line to be out a bit. So I went ahead to fix my zipper. So here we have, I've closed down the entire zipper. Now once to add my facing, and that's just to bring the notch line. Always notch, very important, and pin, making sure so I'm going to stitch with 1/2 inch. I'll do the pinning the other side and stitch with 1/2 inch all the way around, and when I get to my zipper allowance, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to also stitch and then stitch all the way till I'm done with the end of my facing. So I'm going to go ahead, and for my zip, this is how I make my zip. I got to where my zip is and then sew straight down. See, so what I'll do is just to pop it out this way, give it a good and nice press this way too. Make sure you are done removing your pins. Make sure you remove this so that it doesn't become so bulky. So I'll be cutting mine out. Cut it out so that it doesn't become so bulky, so that when you cut out your excesses where your joining is thick, and finish up your ironing with hemming gum, and we're done. So here is the result of what we made. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that, it's so beautiful and lovely. So all you have to do is wear yours, make sure your sewing is very neat, and go ahead and drape as you wish. So that's me trying to form my drapes. Take your time while doing this so that it comes out fine. Now as you're draping, you are using your pins to hold them down. So you're going to do this until you have achieved your desired result. Now this draping, you see that the front isn't shorting, the length is coming out beautifully well. So when you're done, please use your needle and your thread to hold those drapes and hem it permanently down. Now this is what we have as a result. I'm loving my guys. What do you think? So please drop your questions in the comment section, comment, like this video so that others get to see it. Bye.